Yo, Make America Great podcast. You with your host, Relly North, also known as SP, also known as Jossie Crane. Today on the docket, we got King Von, Destined to Fall. So y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and y'all go for this ride with me. King Von gonna save 1 million lives today. We're gonna start like this. Pre-OTF. King Von born Davon Bennett on August 9th, 1994 to mother Taisha and father Walter Bennett, aka Silk. Silk passed away when Von was only 11 years old. He was shot in the head by a sniper rifle. Now, forgive me for starting this video off like this, but I'm going to tell y'all right now that this was propaganda from the very start. Von was an experiment. Silk was one of the biggest gangsters and black disciples in Chicago. And let me just remind y'all of something. Black people don't snipe their ops. They get up close and personal, or we talking drive-by. Alright, so y'all keep following me. I want y'all to understand that Von was poisoned at that age of 11. He needed to be saved right then. His father was already a gang member, so the program was already being instilled. Now that he's now in death, what do you think that does to his child, his father's child? It turns it into anger. It turns it into vengeance. It turns it into revenge. It turns it into Von. You understand? The trauma that is to a child is horrific. So let me ask y'all this. Do you think that Von heard about how his father passed away when he was that age? I found out how the Buddha God passed away at that age. Let me keep going. You see how our hate for one another, it led to a possible government strategy for war. This led to a King Von being born. Even if it was black on black crime, it's just like every gangster. The trauma started somewhere, and all we ever wanted was real help for that before we learn how to numb ourselves to it, before we learn how to place that shit somewhere. You understand what I'm saying? That's all we ever wanted. Von learned how not to give a fuck at an early age. That's becoming numb to the shit that's going on around you. That's saying, man, my fucking daddy got sniper rifle. What the fuck is another little nigga that's getting killed like me meaning to me? That's where the trauma is. That's what we do as black people when we don't get help for this shit. And we don't get help because we supposed to just deal with this shit and keep on going. It's life. That's what they tell us. All right. So him learning how not to give a fuck at an early age, also knowing that his father was killed by a sniper rifle, which was probably a part of propaganda, all comes back around into maybe that's why they let him get away with so much. Von was the test, starting with his father. See, what y'all missing is that this is a severe case of PTSD that leads us to joining gangs, that leads us to senseless violence, that leads us to suicide. But that's the test. It's always about the resiliency of the human in some kind of form, whether it's your mind, whether it's your body, whether it's just your soul, your morals, your ethics. It's always about the resiliency. So I want you to use Von, and I want you to think about every 11-year-old with trauma and think about the programming that they receive from our culture, from what it is that we tell them, what we give them. Think about the pain we just expect them to get over and be normal. But we remind them every day how their heroes have been gunned down, just because it's good for TV, y'all. That's what we do. We do it because it's good for TV. Hey, bitch, what up? We remind them every day, even if you didn't see the imagery of how it happened. You can't help yourself but imagining it. You understand? What do you believe that creates by doing that? And because the 1% controls the 99, we're too pussy to take our frustrations out where they should be. So Von will post tweets admitting to crimes. He would taunt the ops. He would taunt the police. All while not caring about any consequences. So maybe Chicago police wanted us to believe that he was hollow man, self-snitching with no evidence, or it was a deeper agenda, y'all. Like the one that took thousands of lives during the drill rap start. And even still into today. So let's get into the real Von story. At 16, he went to jail for the first time. At 20, he was charged with murder. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Before we keep going, I want you to look at some of these videos of Von doing other things other than being a gangster. You got those? You see that? But the game was on Game of Thrones. Can you conquer your demons to sustain long? In 2014, Von was accused of 3 murders at the age of 20, including a 17-year-old K.I. Keep it gangster. When we 20, we don't give a fuck about 17-year-olds. We're they're still in high school. You think about that and you compare it to a government-funded war. Von was Franklin Saint. You see all the talents that this man got. He could have been anything, but the stage was being set. It was the blindest score in history. Welcome to OTF. Von was signed to OTF in 2018. I want to ask y'all a question while making a point at the same time. Do you see how falling too deep into the gangster mentality to where mentally you cannot elevate? It'll be used against you in chest in the court of the streets. It doesn't pay to be so tough that you can't read. Let that sink in. I'm not saying that Von couldn't read, but I'm saying that Von was so tough that he only read what he knew. But the game is so much bigger and deeper than what it is, than what it is that we think that we know. That's why it's like you get the best knowledge from old people. You always can learn. If you turn your mind off to learning, to understanding that you can continue to gain knowledge, you've already lost. So, I want you to think about the energy that it took for Von to be mad at his ops. Go to sleep. And this you too. You think about this too. Think about the energy it took to get mad at the ops. Go to sleep mad at the ops. Dream mad at the ops. Wake up mad at the ops. And repeat the cycle every fucking day. They live right around the corner from their ops. The niggas that they want to kill is walking distance. Any nigga that I ever had a problem with where I'm from, I have to find them. He was walking distance from the people that he wanted to do harm to. So, while you think about that energy that it takes to be mad, to be angry, to always be ready to kill, always be ready to drill, always be ready to step on some shit. I want you to think about it like in the fact that you damn near killing all of your positive brain cells. You understand what I'm saying? Von showed these traits. Do I think that Von was a serial killer? No, I think that Von was every single thing that every single one of the hood niggas that's around here would be if they continue to be able to get away with the shit that they was doing. That's why he was the experiment, because it's the direction. You can't tell me that Von never spoke on how when he gets some money, he gonna do every single one of them niggas in. I know, because that's how we talk. If you didn't know that's how niggas talk, ask Young Thug. Hell, ask Lil Durk. Bitch, ask Jason Statham. This nigga don't make no movie if it ain't about revenge. You hear me? I love Jason, but it's still blinding. If you don't understand that shit and you can't tap out and put that in the categories that it need to be in, it will suck you in. So if Von would have started thinking and speaking like Duck, he would have been no good to y'all. But he would have still been here today. And so would Duck. R.I.P. Big Clout. R.I.P. Von. But Von took that blue pill and he stayed stagnant mentally. This shows you why money ain't everything, y'all. Wake the fuck up. So, let's go to the interview that told the truth. That Breakfast Club interview. Durk was saving Von from himself. But let me ask my street niggas something. Why do we save our people from themselves? Because we've seen something. We know something. We heard something. And we heard it, seen it, or know it personally from the horse's mouth that we know could sabotage them, because a crash dummy don't know he a crash dummy. Von was always doing too much, but to him, he was just being a real nigga. That's what's blinding to us, y'all. But you know who was watching him? Durk. This is how you get your evil twins. That's how you get a fresh deal out of prison with no content other than self-snitching. That's what Von was doing. That's how you get a relationship that was nothing as it seemed before the deal. Y'all, Durk knew Von and his destiny more than Von knew himself. And so did you. That's why y'all tuned in to watch the fucking plane crash, people. It wasn't hard to see at all. Durk ended up setting the pieces up and let the situation happen accordingly, like a reality show. He ain't break no fucking law. Alright? In that Breakfast Club interview, Durk did everything he could do to protect Von from himself, but that was gonna change. In 2019, together, Durk and Von with Zoo and I believe it was Hella Bands, they got arrested for some shooting robbery shit. And this turned into the longest drawn out case where video evidence was presented that I've ever seen. The play was in though, y'all. Von was so gangster in his approach to how he handled the law. He didn't see strategy and execution happening through his destination for failure. Look at Von and look at Durk's reactions during court. Here you go. Von is like, you know what to do, nigga. And Durk is like, he looked like he thinking like, yeah, you right, nigga, I know what to do. And all Von can see is that they got out for something he know that they should have been locked up for. So it had to be solid. You don't see the game that's going on in your face because the results happen the way that you expected the results to happen. You don't know that these people in these courtrooms play dirty games. You don't even think that your own homie will play a dirty game. That twin shit should have gave a jig up. Remember, if them hands and guns don't come with wits, the streets is where it ends. So they released. Von gets put with track. An accused officer by his own words. Officer Francois has been shot. That's what that recording said, and it was only one Francois on the scene that was shot, and it was Jameson Francois, and that's him. What street nigga will put they mans with a dude like Track? What information have you got on Track? What did Track have to show as a track record for Von to be signed to OTF and then put with somebody like Track? Why not give him your management, Durk? Why not keep your twin around the same people who take care of you and the daily operations of your brand? This ain't me trying to accuse you of doing nothing to Von. This is me just asking this as any street nigga whenever some shit happened to one of the homies and niggas want to know why this shit happened. When we care. Why not give him your management and the people around you that keep your daily operations and your brand afloat? And y'all gonna say because they couldn't be around each other, it was court ordered. And I'm gonna say you damn right. I know. But this relationship started off with trying to save him from self-sabotage. But now you on your own, Von. Now it wasn't me, but somebody else was there that clearly looked like me on the scene at the Varsity. Do y'all see it happening? Von couldn't stop though. Somebody was going to pay for that shooting at the Varsity. The government is just not letting that happen. Rappers is just not going to be shooting shit up and getting away with it. Stop playing. They was going to make somebody pay for that, and everybody involved knew. Von was accused of another Atlanta murder. And other shit probably that he didn't get caught for. Who knows? I ain't going to say none of that. I'm just going to say we know an Atlanta murder he was accused of. But you know who wasn't doing nothing at this time except cleaning up an image? You got it. He don't have to tell on Von. He never had to tell on Von. They look alike. They twins. And Von is showing himself to be the unreasonable, unstable one. And now we have committed a crime together, and I got a career while you don't give a fuck about jail. So here's some fucking landmines. Now, let's get to the nail in the coffin. That airport ID check. Von should have knew at that time, nigga. Run, Simba. Run away and never return. Listen, I don't care what y'all tell me. The lady who asked for his ID was indeed that fucking lawyer. I don't play games. We here to save lives. Y'all know what the fuck I'm saying. Don't play with me. But again, I don't blame Durk. I'm just trying to save kids from being Von. Because they will become a member in his image, not his influence. We the wannabe gangsters behind the images that are programmed into us. We're influenced by our surroundings. We're influenced by our peers. We're influenced by what holds weight amongst the circle that we're raised in. But we become who we become in the images of the people that we admire. Them telling you that rap is the reason for a lot of our problems is more of propaganda. No, the reason for our problems is because of the poison that you all do in this fucking corporation of a country. It's all about $1. That's why it's the way that it is. Not from rap music, not from being influenced by rap music. You just make rap music have to be the influence to keep us in poverty. Let's keep on going. That lady was Durk's lawyer. And this was a strategic move by his team that got Von's wheels spinning. That's why he felt the way. But remember, Von took the blue pill. So the fall is imminent. And y'all love to watch and enable it. At this point, Von separated from where you only seen to. At this point, Von separated to where you only seen him with O Block. But you signed, my boy. You got obligations that labels are privy to. Von was being tracked, and he was being set up by the same thing Durk tried to save him from. His fucking mouth. But who better to run his mouth to than a manager that's a fucking officer, as he said on that 911 tape. Listen to me, y'all. The fall, I believe the night at the Monaco Hookah Lounge, there was supposed to be a bloodbath. Somebody was supposed to die. Somebody was supposed to go to jail. This was set up center stage for it to happen. Everybody was going to die. Or once Quando died, Von was going to be charged. So let's take this from the top. Von and YB beefing. I see my equal competition on one end and a crash dummy who I gave life to that it's time to pay the piper with a case for, and I don't know how to present that to him. Now back to the chessboard we go. My evil twin ready to crash out behind this rap shit and some females. And I know it because he done told me. I done heard him talk about it. I didn't already even seen him do the shit. So I can't save him no more. But him crashing out will benefit me in so many ways. You understand what I'm saying? Lil Tim makes a tweet. It's gunplay behind Quando. Everybody know that this excites a street nigga like Von. This excites any street nigga. I know y'all like, how can Von's feelings and actions be communicated when he wasn't no longer around OTF? And I say, the fucking manager. Track. Duh. He was the setup. Track was recording Von's motherfucking every word like tracks in his motherfucking head. But it was setting up for a bigger picture. It was setting up for a bigger picture. Whoever would be seen first in Von's vicinity, he would be dropped into action like a love and hip hop scene. It don't matter who from NBA. If they was spotted and Von was in the vicinity anywhere, a couple miles football field, Von was going to be dropped on the scene like a love and hip hop scene, and let's let it play out and see what happens. That's your explanation for how they got there, even though he was asleep. And his shit was over. Von was supposed to be going to see a girl. But that shit was set up like a WWF match in the fucking 1990s. Von was Stone Cold. Quando was The Rock. Durk was Vince McMahon watching his fucking product on UPN, USA, whatever the fuck you wanted to be on. And Track was Paul Bearer. R.I.P. Von Slutty, and condolences to anybody that was a victim that was involved in that. Durk was on live because he knew everybody in that parking lot. He knew that everybody was in that parking lot, and he needed to know the results. Y'all had already gave him the results when he did when Duck died and he was on live. So we just playing off of the mentality that we playing off of today's narrations. How can today's situations be narrated to fit today's time? All right. So to get to the wrap up on this, I believe Von was supposed to go to jail or die the night that he did. If jail was in his future for all these murders, I'm sure the street nigga in him, knowing he was never gonna be free again, would have took the charges for Durk. Remember, Von's mentality set this up. If the latter of the two happened, which it did, and he passed away, all those murders that he admitted to his undercover manager, and that was getting transported from the transcript from the undercover manager back to the team that needed to hear it, it was gonna come to light, allowing everybody to blame him without his consent. But let's keep it gangsta on this, because let's keep it real gangsta on this. I'm telling all my mans right now, if I go and you did anything when I was alive that you can put on me to be free, do it. And Von probably said that to them as well. This is why the setup was imminent. The fall was imminent. It was going to happen. Okay? So, in conclusion, Von was never meant to sustain success. He was just the newest 15-year experimental project into the future of our youth. Durk just played chess the way street niggas do when they only see one outcome in the situation, and Von was the Franklin Saint of program poison in this situation. Okay? So we're going to end it like this. As far as any allegations on track, is supported by all the murders attached to Von being solved after death, and not believing anyone can get close to Von without him trusting you enough to tell his darkest secrets. Could his homies have told to get out, like I just said? Yes, but the timing is off. Because the first thing was that he would have been charged for the varsity shooting. Then the murders were solved. Understand? The varsity shooting charge would have came first, and then the murders would have got solved. So they're telling y'all what it was. This was an experiment. The experiment is over, and this is the results of the experiment. This is why these videos is coming out. This is why paperwork is coming out. This is why everything is coming out about this man. But I'm going to never forget Officer Francois was hit, and the manager is Francois, who got shot with him. So, this is the story of King Von's Destined, Rise and Fall. This is educational purposes for our youth who are programmed by gang imagery. You don't understand it until you've given your life to it, and then you realize that you would have made a different choice if you could choose it all over. Everybody can't be King Von and get away with it. But what they blinding you with and they don't want you to believe is that, or what they blinding you with and they don't want you to know, and what they won't say is that King Von actually didn't get away with being King Von. R.I.P. Von. And anybody that's a youth that want to step in the imagery and the footsteps of Von, I urge you to dig deep within yourself, find love, find understanding. I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I'm going to tell you you shouldn't do it. But I want you to find the understanding before you do it. And hopefully that'll save your life. 9.